At this very moment, it's now the most wonderful time of year. Christmas Day! Sorry. Christmas Day. And Daniel is fast asleep. Bless his little cotton socks. Actually, I can't sleep at all.
Oh, and another thing. My socks aren't that little. Actually, they're quite big.
Sorry.
That's alright. I'm not going to be able to get to sleep at all because, well, I'm so excited. You see? It's Christmas!
Oi.
Sorry.
That's alright.
It's Christmas. And we got all the festive time preparations ready. We got the cakes, the decorations, a lot of TV specials and films to watch around the festive time. Actually, come think of it, this whole opening is kind of a copy of that opening of the Sooty episode, Sooty's Busy Christmas. You know, the one that featured the cuddly little bear, performed by Matthew Corbett. Actually, come think of it, that is a Christmas special that I do remember watching, alongside others. But what kind of Christmas specials? From, say, children's TV shows would I discuss in this video? Well, let's do the intro and find out at Christmas time!
The filming Daniel.
Oh, sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle with snow. Which for some reason looks like paper, but you know. Art comes from the mind, not from the expenses, I guess. So, here we go. Merry Christmas! Woo! It's Christmas time! Ah, most wonderful time of year. It's around the official time of the Christmas day. And how have I decided to celebrate it? Well, first off, I have to say the regular catchphrase. Hey guys, it's Daniel here. Yeah, I forget about that. Sorry, I love Christmas. But I decided for this Christmas special to cap off the end of 2025, I decided to do something that is sort of similar to what I did last year when I reviewed the Lazy Town Christmas specials. But I decided to kind of branch it out a bit more. Because ever since I started doing Lazy Town and Bluey on this channel, I've had the need to explore more nostalgic children's television that I used to love and admire, and can find so much more to love about them as a 20-year-old. Man, 20. I'm 20 years old. Time has gone by. So, I decided that for this special video for the Christmas day, I have decided to talk about 10 different children's TV shows that have Christmas specials. So, sit back and enjoy my thoughts on these children's television Christmas specials. So, there are about 10 shows that have Christmas specials that I'll be discussing. The first one, and of course the one that people probably were familiar with my thoughts on, are the Lazy Town Christmas specials. Lazy Town Surprise Santa and The Holiday Spirit. Now again, I have done reviews of these episodes last year for Christmas, so you can check out my full details of what I think of them then. But I'll go through the stories of these specials real quick in this video. The first one, Surprise Santa, is about all of the Lazytown residents getting together for Christmas and getting ready for a Christmas dinner, while Robbie Rotten is not only disguising himself as Santa to steal all of their presents, but he's also making time for a giant snowball to be launched out of a cannon, aiming it at where Sporticus will be sitting for Christmas dinner. Only to find that he actually becomes more sincere around this time. I think that this special is really good. It's not like as special or as deep as other Lazytown episodes, but it definitely has like some nice Christmassy atmosphere. The kind of dim lighting of the whole thing gives it kind of the blue, like Christmas feels of it all. The snow looks amazing. The characters are still like incredibly entertaining and endearing. Plus, Robbie Rotten is still the star of the show himself. I mean, just watching him trying to pull off his Santa act is very funny. He's trying to like keep himself obtained and try to keep his identity secret, but he also has to play part as Santa Claus by interacting with the children, or else his act will be exposed. But of course, I love episodes that deal with Robbie's softer side, and I can't help but still found it endearing when he was invited to a Christmas dinner, and he even goes out of his way to warn the residents of the snowball to protect everyone. I think it's very great of a character development. Of course, the songs are still great, like I Love Christmas by Stephanie and Trixie, the amazing Jingle Bell kind of rhythm Christmas beat to Bing Bang. I love the use of like when she says Bing Bang and then she doesn't say ding-a-ling-a-dong, she lets the bells ding-a-ling-a-dong. I think that's a great detail. But in the extended version we had the iconic Good to be bad, it's great to be a crook. It's nice to be a villain like you read about in books. You know, the awesome song by Robbie. Overall, this is a really good Christmas special. But the second one, The Christmas Spirit, is even better, which is about all the residents getting ready for Christmas while Santa Claus ends up in Lazytown and tries to teach Stingy the Christmas spirit, while Robbie Rotten is also learning the Christmas spirit in his own time. The reason why I feel like this special is more better than the other special is because it has more of a emotionally moral story about Stingy learning the importance of the Christmas spirit and not having to keep every single present for himself, and how sharing it at Christmas time is really good for his moral humanity and stuff. It's something that was kind of hinted at in the first Christmas special when Miss Busybody said to him, "Giving presents makes you feel good." And, well, he definitely felt good in this special when he was sharing all the presents that were really for his friends, but because Santa accidentally ended up in Lazytown, they landed in front of Stingy's house. But it's a good character development for Stingy. This episode's version of Santa Claus is wonderful as well. He's very giddy, he's very energetic, he's very lovely, he's very awesome, he's very kind, but he also has his own wacky slapstick when he's telling the story of how he ended up in Lazytown and just his body movement and him getting jolly during a Christmassy musical number is just like, it's so bizarre, but so entertaining at the same time. You can tell that the actor for this version of Santa Claus is a huge Lazytown fan and signed on to be in this episode immediately. But of course, once again, Robbie Rotten for me really is the star of the show. The only problem is I wish he wasn't barely in the episode, because he got a good amount of screen time in the first half, but then when Santa ends up in Lazytown, he doesn't show up until the end, which is a shame because I love the development of his character in this episode, because yeah, he does kind of like get into helping people just so he can have his presents, which is a childish thing to do, and it does kind of miss the spirit of the holiday spirit. But you can tell that part of him wants to enjoy the holiday spirit. I mean, his giddy response when being invited to the Christmas party and his amazing surprise at the end of the episode just shows that he just needs comfort and company at this time of year or at any time because he's really a lonely man. So it's a great natural character development, and it's one of the episodes that makes Robbie one of my favourite TV characters. Overall, both of these Christmas specials definitely capture the heart of Lazytown and the heart of Christmas combined, with a central villain that steals my heart every time. The second show that I'll be talking about is a very interesting educational TV show on CBeebies called Something Special, which is about children's entertainer Justin Fletcher going on adventures and having fun with children with disabilities and different signs of autism, and him using sign language to interact with the audience and interact with the people watching the episodes. Meanwhile, his friend, Mr. Tumble, gets into some wacky adventures of his own. And there's a Christmas special episode that I remember watching, which is about Mr. Tumble and his family getting ready for the festive time, while Justin is getting ready for a Christmas time with a bunch of children. However, Justin realizes there's no Christmas presents under the tree. So Mr. Tumble gets the help of Father Christmas to help him get the presents over to Justin and the children. Yeah, come think of it, I kind of had a bit of fun with the sign language, but this episode on a rewatch, I love the heck out of this episode, man. Honestly, it brought a smile onto my face that just made me so happy inside and gave me lots of laughs throughout the episode. And just the endearment of Justin using sign language to interact with the children. In my opinion, I didn't even realise that it was so endearing. I thought he was just using sign language for different reasons when I was a little kid. But to find out that he's using sign language to interact with children that have these disabilities or sign of autism, and him using sign language, interacting with them and demonstrating it in front of an audience, it's so much more special than I've even imagined. And honestly, rewatching it now, I've come to realise how special it is that Justin would interact with the children, and just him and the children getting ready for the festive time of the year is very interesting. But it's also very unusual that when he was like, let's look for the item over there, and the Christmas presents are somewhere, the Christmas presents are gone. So I think that's the first time I've seen Justin's search for a special thing not work out. And then it brings to the character of Mr. Tumble. Rewatching this episode, Mr. Tumble is just an admirable and lovely host of his segments. He can be very cheeky, very dorky and naive, but he has an enthusiastic passion for life and has so much fun to give to the children. And he does interact with a children voiceover. Sometimes he and the children that interact with him, they sometimes help each other. There'd be times when Mr. Tumble teaches the children something interesting, or the children teach Mr. Tumble something interesting. Just the interactions is just adorable. He's great with kids, and it's no surprise how much of a big kid at heart and how gleeful and giddy he gets when he meets Father Christmas outside of his house, and he's just like, oh, he said hello to me. And I think Justin's performance as Mr. Tumble, because that's Justin once again playing Mr. Tumble. But not only that, he also plays Mr. Tumble's family members, like Lord Tumble and Grandad Tumble, which Grandad Tumble is a riot. He's so energized, but he's just so hilarious in some of his moments. Yeah, this is me, a 20-year-old, laughing at something aimed at preschoolers, but just, regular family household jokes that these characters make. It makes me laugh, but it's also so endearing. This then leads to the moment where Mr. Tumble and Father Christmas end up meeting Justin and the children at the end of the episode, which just leads to the image of seeing Mr. Tumble and Justin meeting each other, and just my response when I first watched this episode as a toddler was just like, no way! I was just like, oh my goodness, I'm seeing these two characters interact with each other? The only moments, throughout the show is just Mr. Tumble sending his spotty bag over to Justin, and Justin sending it back to Mr. Tumble, but, just seeing them actually interacting in this one scene, despite the kind of split screen that I can kind of notice in editing, it was still an amazing moment when I first saw it. It's one of the crossovers of the century. I mean, just watching this episode made me appreciate a lot of things about Something Special in terms of how interactive Justin can be with the children, and giving the children with autism or disabilities time in the spotlight to go on different adventures with Justin, and seeing their favourite children's entertainer in real life must have been a treat for them. I believe the show is still on, with Justin still playing Mr. Tumble and once again still being a host, but having other hosts of the show as well. So honestly, if the show is still on and gives people the opportunity, if you've got a kid that would love to be on the show, I definitely say get them on the show if you can, and if they want to, because it's a great opportunity for them. And I think watching this episode again, I love this episode, rewatching it. It put a big smile on my face throughout. It made me laugh, it made my heart melt, and Justin as himself and Mr. Tumble are great role models for adults interacting with the children's audiences and giving them education and giving them fun. That's not the only show that I watched religiously as a toddler on CBeebies. Let's go over to another one. This one is Charlie and Lola. Charlie and Lola is a children's animated show about siblings Charlie and Lola Sonner, who get into different adventures with their friends, Charlie teaching Lola different facts about history, and Lola just wanting to have fun. This episode is called How Many More Minutes Till Christmas, which is about Charlie and Lola getting ready for the festive time of year. But Lola is getting worried that her letter to Santa Claus won't be able to get there in time, and she's worried about all the presents that she won't be able to get, while Charlie is teaching her different facts about Christmas. And it leads to some sort of imaginative adventure with them kind of travelling into their advent calendar to help a bunch of elves. Charlie and Lola is honestly one of the most endearing children's television shows I've ever seen. Just the bond between the titular siblings is so relatable, and it gives Charlie a lot of responsibility because for some reason we don't see the parents in the show. They're off screen, we don't hear them. Like, it's not like Peanuts where they're off screen but we can still hear voices. No, we don't hear anything. But on screen we just see the children. And Charlie wants to help his sister kind of have the best time of her life at Christmas time, or lots of different fun activities. But Charlie also teaches her some moral lessons about life, about history, like what the backstory of different parts of Christmas is, interesting facts about it, what Santa leaves every year, like a tangerine, which he finds to be quite boring, and also teaching them interesting facts to compare them to what they are doing right now. And Lola is just an endearing and lovable little girl who just wants to have fun, and her just her little noises with her like having fun, being silly with these different Christmas ornaments is very funny and very sweet. I also love the animation style for this show. The show is based on a book, I can't remember who the writer is, but the animation style has kind of drawings for the characters, while the backgrounds are either made up of like paper shapes, or real life objects like tomatoes, biscuits, food. They usually are like pictures of real life objects or real life food, and they animate it into the show, which just gives the show a unique style for CBeebies standards. The music and the animation in this episode, showing the starry nights and showing the traditions of Christmas carols, singing the song Away in a Manger, and also I find it funny that the cattle are lowing, it's really mooing, so Lola's just like, cattle are mooing. Again, it's just endearing and funny little girl. And it gives the episode a nice Christmassy atmosphere that, again, just reminds me of like my childhood. So overall, this episode is a perfect episode to watch for the children and for fans of Charlie and Lola. Oh, my apologies. You heard me whistling the theme song to the well-known stop-motion British television series Postman Pat. You know, the one that has Postman Pat, about a friendly postman in the village of Greendale. Well, even he had his own Christmas special. Actually, I think he had quite a few. But the one that I remember watching is Postman Pat's Magical Christmas, which is about Pat getting ready to deliver all the post to Greendale at Christmas time, while he has a big surprise waiting in store. He's going to be dressing up as Santa Claus for the big party at night. Unbeknownst to him, that he actually meets a total stranger in Greendale who helps him to deliver the post, not knowing that he's the actual Santa Claus. Although the magical and supernatural elements of this episode doesn't reach the kind of realistic down-to-earthness of like the first 2 seasons of Postman Pat, I think that this episode definitely holds a lot of memories. I remember watching it, and, you know, it demonstrates what kind of a man Pat is, because he's just a regular postman who delivers the post, knowing where each and every single person in Greendale lives. I also find it kind of endearing with his cheeky little teasing of what the surprise is, with people saying, "Ooh, there's a special guest." So I hear. It's very funny, and it kind of matches the kind of down-to-earth endearment of Pat as a character. There's also a subplot involving his son Julian and his wife Sarah, where Sarah is making a Christmas cake for the party, but Jess the cat keeps getting in the way. And it's just, oh my goodness, like Jess, kind of like his movement, I don't know if it's a he or a she, I don't know. But Jess's movement and the way that they run around, especially the moment where they get the spoon stuck to their tail and they're just running around like, meow, 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 and you just got Sarah like, it's only one spoon, what's all the fuss about? And he's just like, honestly, it reminds me of like if my own dog would do that, and it just captures like the instincts and reflexes of a real cat, even in stop motion. While Julian is trying to make time fun at Christmas Eve, even though there's no snow, and he and the children make ways to sledge down the hill without any snow, and even how to make a snowman without any snow, which is just a pumpkin head, topped off with the Santa Claus hat, left behind by the real Santa, who his version in this episode is very good as well. He gives out loads of teasers to who his true identity is, while also trying to keep it a secret. And both he and Pat, and most male characters in Greendale, are voiced by well-known British voice actor Ken Barry, who, yes, it's sad that he unfortunately passed away in 2016, because his voice for Pat is so recognisable, and he brings some sincerity and humanness to the lovable postman. And also his voice as Santa Claus is very, like, enchanting and wholesome as well, with the ho ho ho, and him helping Pat along the way was very cool as well. I also couldn't help but kind of tap my foot to the song, "It's a Magical Christmas, Christmas Delivery, it's a Magical Christmas in Greendale." That song, even though it's pretty much a song that only kids would be able to like get into, I'm kind of a big kid at heart as well, so I couldn't help but tap my foot to it. Overall, nothing too special about this episode, aside from the Christmassy atmosphere and the memories of watching it as a toddler, but still a good watch, even if it doesn't kind of match the down-to-earth realisticness of the first 2 seasons, because I felt like those 2 seasons had more of a genuine feel than this one, because, well, magical elements, but it was still a good watch. Have you ever had moments where you have puppets constantly causing trouble and whispering into your ear and going meow, meow, over a bone? Well, you should speak to Sooty, Sweep and Sue. Yes, Sooty is another one of those characters that I watched religiously when I was a toddler, and he went from different kinds of hosts, from Harry Corbett to his son Matthew to his friend Richard. And the Matthew era is the one that I remember watching the most of. Come think of it, I can't remember if I ever saw the Harry Corbett one. Oh well, I definitely remember the Matthew one a lot, and Matthew performs the puppetry himself for Sooty, Sweep and Sue whenever he can, I think, especially Sooty, and him kind of interacting with Sooty is very well known, even though you can kind of see him kind of moving the puppet a little, but I guess that just adds to like the multiple work of his responsibility on the show. Sooty has 3 Christmas specials, maybe even more, but 3 that I remember watching. There's Sooty's Busy Christmas, which is about Sooty, Sweep and Sue and Matthew getting ready to go to a Christmas show and a Christmas party, but things kind of not working well with them, so they come up with their own ways to get all of these things together for Christmas. It's a very wholesome Christmas special with funny moments. I mean, this show makes me laugh so much with the characters just causing mischief and Matthew kind of losing his mind over it, but, you know, he's kind of their legal guardian, so he still goes along with the act and makes funny jokes and still works well as a responsible adult. We also get the introduction of Richard, who is the third host that Sooty, Sweep and Sue live with after Matthew's departure. I think he was probably about 16 at the time, and he like does a magic show in front of them, which honestly, magic shows are just like, how do they do it? Oh well, I guess it's just magic. I also really love the endearing montage where you see Matthew and Sooty going to the hospital to entertain and cheer up some of the patients there, which is just funny, especially the moment where he's holding Sooty's puppet and Sooty is kind of holding his own Sooty puppet and he tries to give it to this lad, but then he's like, don't take it away. No, don't take it away from him. Okay, there you go. Don't take it away from him. You want to take it home? No, you can't. Like, honestly, I can't tell if this is like a real, like, show that Matthew did in real life, and they just filmed it to make it look like it's a narrative in the episode, but I can kind of tell, and it's very funny. There's also Early Xmas, which is about the characters at summertime, but Sue comes up with the idea to wrap up all of her Christmas presents 5 months early so that she's not in, like, that last-minute Christmas rush that a lot of people are at, which, honestly, I can kind of see, but honestly, I feel like it could have been like September, October, or November, where she did Christmas wrapping and shopping prep, and Sweep accidentally makes it look like it's his presents, which causes a bit of a fallout between him and Matthew, but Matthew learns to keep his cool, and they work things out in the end. And again, it's just a funny blast to watch, and even at summertime it captures some Christmas moments, so you can watch this at both summertime and Christmas time. However, the one that I had a blast with the most, that I remember watching, is the Christmas pantomime episode, which is about Matthew, Sooty, Sweep and Sue putting on their own Christmas panto in front of their friends, and things are constantly going wrong on stage, and Matthew just keeps having to improvise, like, okay, I'll add that to the script, okay, we'll go along with it, and the constant changes, and him having to interrupt the show, and him getting annoyed, and the puppets just, like, causing trouble is so funny, especially this scene.
Oh, woe is me, lack a day, misery, misery, he hath fainted away.
This is Sue's dramatic bit.
How can we revive him?
What are you doing? Sweet! What are you doing? You're reviving him, not like that.
Darn, Sweep, like, why are you such a silly doggy? I don't know. These episodes, again, they're nothing too special, but they're a funny bunch of episodes that I will go to whenever I want a good laugh. One of the shows that definitely is a childhood classic for a lot of people, that gives them the realistic nature of children's encounters with life and the educational values, is a TV show called Arthur, which is about young child Arthur Reed getting up to life with his friends and family. It's a very endearing cartoon that teaches a lot of moral lessons to children about the realities of life, the life of, like, household and school interactions, but it also encourages children to do the use of reading, which definitely is something that a lot of people can definitely learn from. There's a Christmas special from the TV show Arthur called Arthur's Perfect Christmas. Not to compare it to Arthur Christmas, that's honestly, I keep getting those two names confused. I end up typing Arthur Christmas into the search bar when I'm really searching for Arthur's Perfect Christmas. It's Christmas time in Arthur's neighbourhood, so he and his family are getting ready for the season, while his friends are getting up to their own Christmas adventures, with Buster kind of dealing with his mother's over-worriness about the Christmas time, and Muffy getting ready for a Christmas party, thinking her friend Francine is coming over, but she can't because she's celebrating Hanukkah, and the miscommunication between them causes them to have a falling out. In my opinion, this is a good way of showing children that not everybody celebrates Christmas in the traditional way. They celebrate it in their own family way, and different kinds of ways of celebrating the festive time, with Hanukkah versus Christmas. And it teaches children to be more understanding of other people's beliefs and the ways of celebrating Christmas, to have a good, healthy communicational friendship between them, which is something Muffy needs to learn. I also love the way that they demonstrated Francine having Hanukkah and how she tells the story of how her family celebrates Hanukkah. It's a great way of showing how Hanukkah is being demonstrated and how it's being celebrated by people all over the world. While Arthur is having his own problem of how Christmas seems to be changing a lot of the time and different kinds of decisions are happening, and he's getting worried about the changes being made to Christmas, which honestly I can kind of relate to, because as somebody autistic that has like a love for Christmas and can get very easily about change of plans or last minute decisions, I can kind of connect with Arthur in this episode. But I also love his main goal throughout this story of him trying to get a present for his mother to replace the glass bird that he broke, and it's a perfect way of getting a present ready for his mother. Unfortunately, things start to take a turn once the present gets broken, so who comes to help him? His good old Uncle Fred, who honestly is just a funny, endearing and cheeky uncle that is definitely the brotherly type, but still helps the children whenever he can, and it's just funny watching him in this episode. And I also love Buster's need to help his mother, because Buster's dad isn't around, so his mother gets worried about giving Buster the best time at Christmas, which honestly just makes her so much more human and lovely as a mother, because she gets worried about her children's happiness and puts it first, which is very admirable. But Buster comes to help his mother to calm down, and how Christmas can be different for the both of them. This 55-minute long special definitely incorporates all of the various traits of what makes Arthur so great and educational as a children's television show. Yeah, sometimes DW can get annoying throughout these episodes, Arthur's little sister, but honestly, I think she can be relatable to a lot of children that have needs and wants in life, and how she needs to learn to like be able to handle her rejection, but still have the best time that she can. If you guys love Arthur and haven't seen this special yet, I definitely recommend checking it out. Now, these next 4 shows I'm about to talk about have Christmas specials that honestly I don't even remember seeing or have just recently seen. So let's talk about number 7. Have anybody heard of a stop-motion television series known as The Magic Roundabout? Well, it's a stop-motion French series created by Serge Danot in French and being narrated into English by Eric Thompson, who I was shocked to find out is the father of famous actress Emma Thompson. That was like, oh my goodness, there's a connection there? That's really shocking. And Emma knows about The Magic Roundabout because her father narrated it, which is really surprising. This story involves a merry-go-round known as the Magic Roundabout that is run by a man named Mr. Rusty, and how it can teleport people from the real world over to a magical land called the Magic Garden. Residing in this Magic Garden is Dougal the dog, Zebedee the Jack-in-the-Box wizard, Brian the snail, Ermintrude the cow, Dylan the rabbit, and the talking train, and a little girl named Florence usually visits the garden and has fun with her friends, particularly Dougal. This franchise is something that I definitely have a lot of experience with, but throughout the franchise I never really noticed that there was a Christmas special, and just assumed that there wasn't one. Well, I was wrong! It turns out there was even a Christmas special episode of the Eric Thompson era of the franchise, which involves Dougal getting ready to write a Christmas letter to Santa and encouraging Florence to do the same thing, and Florence just kind of wondering what she would like for Christmas. And the episode uses like a visual demonstration of what she feels like she could have for Christmas, but knows that she probably can't have everything and isn't expecting it, which makes her mature and responsible even for a little girl. Dougal is just a blast to watch as usual. I mean, usually in the original show, he would come up with many schemes and tricks and traits to be able to make good life or make profit or just get up to different situations, and the way that he like loves sugar and how he eats sugar, the way that they animate him eating sugar is very unique and very like unusual. However, in this episode, he is his usual rude and kind of lazy self, but, you know, that's Dougal. That makes him much more three-dimensional as a character. Three-dimensional or two-dimensional? I don't know what the other side of it is. But, of course, they still show him being rude. I mean, just look at his response when he first starts writing his Christmas letter to Santa Claus.
Dear Fatty, he wrote.
Come on, Dougal, like, come on. It's body positive, man, and this is the man that brings you presents. Like, be polite, chill out for a minute. Like, honestly. There's not much to say about this episode, because it's only like 4 minutes long, but I was surprised to find out that there was a Christmas episode of the Magic Roundabout. Remember when I reviewed Lazy Town? Well, we'll also remember the time that I recently started talking about the preschool Australian series Bluey. Well, there's 2 special episodes of Bluey that are revolving around the Christmas time. The first one involving Bandit and his kids playing a game of when Santa Claus comes in and makes sure the kids are asleep and leaves presents for each of them. It's a little game that they play, which is another example of Bandit being a great role model as a father. However, things take a turn once Socks gets involved, and Socks accidentally bites Bluey, and Bluey kind of takes it personally because she doesn't understand that Socks is only 1 year old and isn't able to fully explain the apology yet. So Bluey kind of takes it too personally and doesn't leave Socks a present during the game, which makes Socks upset. I understand Bluey's frustration, but yeah, I felt like that was a little bit mean, and I wasn't particularly fond of that. But it does lead Bluey to learn the lesson of how natural kindness is a great aspect to have at both Christmas and at any point. So she goes over to Socks and apologises for what she did, and Socks knows that it was a mistake to bite Bluey, so she comes up to Bluey and just hugs her, and showing that she does feel guilty for biting her. And the music involving this scene is just a lovely watch. The second episode I actually liked even more is Christmas Swim, which is about Bluey and her family having Christmas Day over by a swimming pool and getting ready for a Christmas dinner. And Bluey ends up getting a little doll who she calls Bartleby, and just trying to keep Bartleby safe at Christmas, and is pretending to talk to Bartleby and getting worried that Bartleby's not having a good time at Christmas. So who comes to save the day? Her Aunt Frisky, who was on vacation with Uncle Rad. And this story carries on the story of the double babysitter episode involving the romance between Rad and Frisky. I love the continuity between the storylines, because it's that double babysitter episode, this episode, and what would eventually be the 28-minute long episode The Sign, which I have reviewed on this channel, so you can go check that out as well. But Frisky, he just encourages little Bartleby to give the healers a chance because they're full of love no matter how wild they are, which is a very lovely and sweet scene from Frisky's behalf. This show is honestly so much more special and more unexpected than other preschool TV shows. So if you love Bluey but have not seen these Christmas special episodes yet, I definitely recommend checking them out. Whew, man, making this video is pretty exhausting, I should say. But I'm almost finished. It's just 2 more shows that have Christmas specials, so just 2 more.
Me.
Recognize that sound? Well, that's something a previous special episode that I've talked about in this list that features an actor, which is of course Justin Fletcher from Mr. Tumble, also speaks whenever he's behind the microphone of Shaun the Sheep. I have talked about Shaun the Sheep many times on this channel, so you can check out my other reviews of the movies, but there's also a special Christmas episode of Shaun the Sheep, The Flight Before Christmas, which is about Shaun and Timmy getting up to mischievousness at Christmas time, trying to get a bigger stocking, but unfortunately Timmy ends up getting separated from the flock after falling into a Christmas present that the farmer is going to be giving to at this kind of Christmas fair, and Timmy ends up going missing and getting taken by this little girl and her family. It's up to Shaun and the rest of the flock to rescue him. I don't think the special is anything that special. I made it funny. But it definitely is funny. That's what I say. It's funny, it's hilarious. I love the references and nods to other British culture. There's a hilarious scene where Bitzer makes a reference to Raymond Briggs the Snowman, and just the look of it and just the cut off because we're like, nope, you're not making that reference. Oh my goodness, man. Aardman always provides a cheeky and self-aware sense of humour. I also couldn't help but find Timmy to be an adorable presence, because Justin Fletcher, who is already the voice of Shaun, also voices Timmy. And the voice he does for Timmy is just like, it's so unrecognisable. And it adds to the toddler little fellowness of Timmy and makes him adorable. I also really like how this episode actually explores the kind of corruptionness and downside of having social media loving parents who are like videographers or social media influencers, and then bringing their kid along, and the mother wanting the kid to look smart and not be like just a normal cheeky kid, which definitely is an example of how parents shouldn't let their social media success go to their heads and cause it to like add corruption to the children. Because this episode shows that these parents aren't awful, they're just too caught up in their work, but they need to realise that the kid still needs a childhood and shouldn't like be forced to be someone they're not even in front of a camera. And I love that the episode kind of explores the downsides of that kind of success. The kid herself, I believe it's a girl, is very fun as well. She's adorable, but she also can get quite wild when Shaun and his flock are trying to get Timmy away from her. But it shows that she still feels sad at Christmas, so Timmy does something nice for her, and the parents do come to the kid's concern at the end of the episode after thinking their house got robbed, when really it's just the flock making trouble while trying to find Timmy. And the end of the episode shows that their concern for their daughter is more important, so they end up developing after this whole thing is over, which is very sweet and shows the development that these parents aren't terrible, they're just too caught up in the corruptive nature of social media. This episode definitely captures a lot of the charm of Shaun the Sheep, as well as all the humour of Shaun the Sheep, without even needing to say a single word. I mean, it's just the gibberish. Oh, blah, 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 oh, blah, 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 blah. Oh my god, like, it's funny. The gibberish is so hilarious. Right, one more. Just one more show that has a Christmas special to talk about in this video. And this is a show that I definitely remember watching, but I can't remember anything about it. That being the Disney Junior TV show Bear and the Big Blue House, which is about a lovable, wholesome character named Bear, who is of course a bear, and the kids that reside in the Big Blue House, and the different adventures that they get up to and the different moral lessons as Bear interacts with the audiences. And there's a 2-part Christmas special episode of Bear in the Big Blue House, which involves Bear and the children getting ready for the festive time, only to see a poor homeless dog named Jack showing up at their doorstep, so they let him in and invite him to stay during the holidays. This episode is definitely another one of those shows that definitely goes out of its way to explore different harsh realities and moral lessons for the children to learn, even at their age. I love that the episode definitely explores some realistic nature of homeless people and teach children that there are homeless people, but they're pretty much just the same people as you and me. Something that Bear explains to this little mouse character who feels worried that they'll end up homeless as well. But Bear assures him that that's not true, but still teaches the reality that even if there's homeless people in the world, a true act of kindness will definitely give them the feeling that no one will be homeless at this time of year or at any year. Also, Bear just makes for a lovely host. He's a tall, big, yet charming and fuzzy creature that talks to the children watching with a calm, warm and comforting tone of voice. Plus, the animatronic for Bear is so lively. Like, the way that the character twists his neck now and again and the way that he moves is not something I would have recognised from an animatronic puppet. It's so, like, extraordinary, but it just adds to the lovable sweetness of his character that you'll just want to, like, reach into the screen and give him a big hug and feel, like, warm and cuddled, like, oh man, I love you so much. I forgot the name of the actor for Bear, but he brings the character to life with so much passion, delivering every line as human as possible. Interesting fact, the actor who played Bear in this show actually did a voiceover for Pixel in one episode of Lazy Town. I was like, wow, you got a big actor from Bear in the Big Blue House to be in an episode of Lazy Town, huh? That's pretty cool. And yeah, I did kind of notice that that version of that episode of Lazy Town did change Pixel's voice kind of weirdly. But I can tell that that's the actor for Bear. The festive time and heartwarmingness of this episode helps Bear to come across as a great role model, as a guardian of these children, teaching them the moral lessons of it's not always about getting presents, and showing an act of kindness to people like Jack is much more special. But I also love that Bear also explains that not everybody celebrates Christmas. Much like the Arthur's Perfect Christmas one, Bear explains that there are different types to the holiday and festive times that people celebrate. It's Hanukkah or I forgot what the other holiday was called. But I love that he teaches the kids interesting facts about different holidays. And the way that the children invite Jack into the house to celebrate Christmas definitely helps Jack to see the loveliness of their community. But Jack also doesn't want to feel like he's invading their privacy. He does say multiple times that he can leave and go find another place just to give them their best time of year. But the kids giving them a home is the greatest gift of all. To Jack as well, because the kids do feel guilty that they don't have a present for Jack. But the poor dog explains that letting him stay for the holidays was enough. It's just like so endearing and so heartwarming. Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing another episode of Bear in the Big Blue House. And the ending montage that I think I remember seeing from the show when I was little is Bear going to the top of the roof and interacting with the moon at night, who has a name. I think her name is Luna. And Luna just comes across as an endearing guardian angel looking over the land. And the way that she interacts with Bear, and she even talks about a moral lesson of how if the various different animals in the Big Blue House can get along, why can't most people in real life? And that is a perfect display and talk of voice of how a lot of communication in today's society is kind of getting into trouble or going wrong, or people are kind of yelling and screaming at each other. This show asks the question, why can't people get along these days? And I think it's a moral lesson that people need to realise and help to build a better community and a better service between human beings. I love that. And this episode just has its warm feeling, it's very charming, and I wouldn't mind seeing more episodes. It's nothing too special, but it is something that children can definitely look at, and the show is definitely brave enough to explore themes that children need to learn no matter what their age is. Almost like a Mr. Rogers kind of thing. Oh, wow, I've done it. I talked about all 10 shows that have Christmas specials. All they have to do is edit this video and I'll meet the deadline. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and these Christmas specials, not all of them are something special, but there's something to pass the time to enjoy at Christmas time and feel the festive magic of all. I just believe that magic inside somebody's soul at Christmas exists. And I think that these nostalgic memories and nostalgic classics are definitely ways to feel that childhoodness inside them. So if I didn't do a good job explaining why these specials are great, but you want to see these specials for yourself, I definitely recommend seeing them and introducing your kids to them, because they are definitely well done specials. And I hope that you all have a very, very Merry Christmas, and
Ho ho ho! Merry Christmas!
hey, good old Dantaflaws. What are you doing here, man?
Well, if I'm a parody of Santa Claus, I have to deliver presents like Santa Claus.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the presents. Oh, and I'm so tired and hungry. I need... Oh my god, where the heck are the cookies? You did not forget the cookies, God!
Oh, sorry, we didn't make any.
Well, you should have made me some, you silly boy. It's hard work. I'm gonna lose energy now. It's gonna ruin your Christmas.
Why are you yelling at me? You're so mean. Oh.
Sorry, my boy. I didn't mean to be so harsh.
You should be sorry. You're a mean man. I thought you were nice.
I was only joking, me boy.
Yeah, so was I.
A good Christmas laugh is all you need. Well, that's me done for another year. So I'll see you next year for Christmas at Filming Daniel. Oh, deck the halls with sausage lollies follow. Hey, wait! I did that again. That's not a lyric in this song. Who put that in the carols? I don't know. I think the boy put that in there. Ho ho ho!
Well, that's him done for another bloomin' year. As I referenced the Father Christmas special that was done by Raymond Briggs, you know, the one that says bloomin' this and bloomin' that. I've done a review for that, you can check that out as well. But it's time to say Merry Christmas. I hope everybody enjoys their Christmas presents that they got this year and feel festive at this time of year, watching Christmas specials and movies and feeling the best times with your family. So, that's me done for another year. That's the end of the Filming Daniel Reviews Series 8, and I'm making way for the year of 2026 in Season 9. So, Merry Christmas and a super duper Happy New Year to all of you. Till then, peace out, man.